Beautiful friends, we are back. I'm with the amazing Pam Drzewiecki, life and business coach. And listen, this is week 4. And wow, Pam, we have had such an exciting time.
We have.
I don't know about you. What do you think?
I think it's been absolutely amazing, and I can't believe it's been a month already since
I
we
know.
started. Time
I know.
goes really fast.
But you know what? You're proving a point because we were 2 women who sat around and said, "You know what would be a great idea is if we just collaborate. Your gifting, my gifting, we do this together and we just bring some free, fast information to people." Now, I think this is a lesson to other people, to other women, to other men who hope to do something with their lives and, take that step of faith of just saying, "You know what? I've got something to offer." And I think we're exemplifying that by what we were willing to do. What do you share?
Oh, I think so as well. It definitely proves that hesitation on things stall the momentum. No matter if it's good or bad that we want to move forward with, it stalls the momentum. And if we overthink sometimes, and we could have been like, no, we're too busy, we can't do this, or we're both coaches, or there could have been a lot of reasons why we did not move forward with this. And
That's right.
I'm so glad that we thought past that and really had the faith that it was going to be a really great mini series.
That's right. I agree. I mean, I think that also, I think one of the things to keep in mind here, Pam, is that we're both coaches. We both
Hmm.
do life coaching. I counsel people. It's not just media coaching. And neither one of us said, well, we offer the same thing. So maybe we shouldn't because, competition. It was like, look, we understand that some people they're going to vibe with you. Some are going to vibe with me. And that's okay. We just want people to move forward and to advance. So I thank you for being willing to be one of those women that just, you're about raising people up and not,
Hmm.
competing in an unhealthy manner.
Hmm.
You're just trying to put out what you know, and I'm trying to put out what I know, and we feed off each other. So it's been a pleasure. So thank you for that.
Thank
And
you.
I'm excited about today's topics because we're going to talk about taking action, which today's an action day. Every day's an action day with Pam and Teresa for sure, but today's
Yes.
definitely an action day. And I'm going to talk about fears, like how to overcome those and stuff like that. So,
Mm.
but I want to start with you, Pam, because you emphasize when you talk about people getting moving forward, you usually talk about taking small, actionable steps towards success. And I like that it's small because I think that we're so big picture. I don't know about you. I'm a visionary. I see the end first, then I work backwards from anything. And if people
Mhm.
don't understand this mindset, it would overwhelm them. But most people work in nibbles or smaller steps. So, what are some practical first steps someone can take to start thriving today, like right now?
Right now. So I love that, like being a visionary, right? And I'm a big believer in reverse engineering into things, right? So you have this big picture. Say I want to run a marathon. I'm just going to use that as an idea, right? And you don't just go out and start running that marathon. You have to break it down into little pieces.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
it's like, okay, today what I'm going to do is maybe go out for 30 minutes and I'm going to run 10 minutes and I'm going to
mhm,
walk 20. Whatever that is identifying what that big picture is. But I think um the biggest way to move forward in thriving is understanding that small steps will get you to your goal. And
mhm,
it is depending on how fast you want to go, is how big those small steps are,
mhm,
because they may be different sizes, right? Like
mhm,
it may be that I need to, work with 5 coaching clients by the end of the quarter. So what do I have to do in order to build relationships
yeah,
with that? And it's
yeah,
really, so I would encourage people just to step back, look at your big goal, but what is
mhm,
the very first thing first
mhm.
that you're going to focus on?
I like that. I like that. I'm actually a living, I share publicly that I dropped out of school in the 8th grade, had my first child at 14. And I'm actually working on a doctorate degree now. But if you ask me how many years it was between the starting the very first college class and to the master's level, I would say approximately 15, on and off, on and off, but nibble by nibble. And now here we are. So I think Pam, don't you think that sometimes the reason why people actually accomplish nothing is because they do feel like, oh my gosh, this is so big, so I've got to now take this huge chunk. Goals really do get you somewhere. We don't think so, but there is a power in small steps, right?
Oh, there definitely is. I think a lot of times the big picture is very overwhelming and we don't know where to start. So we get paralyzed because we're over analyzing what that really is and how it's going to take action on that. So that's the
Mhm.
reason why is like even for yourself, if you're not working with a coach, which both Teresa and I say that, we've worked with coaches in the past ourselves and do it really makes a difference because
Yes.
we're forward thinkers, right? Like we help you understand what that small step is. But if you're doing it yourself, is just look and say, okay, I want to lose, say you want to lose 10 pounds, right? Okay, what do I have to
Mhm.
do today? Today, I have to stay away from sugar. So just one day, I'm going to stay away from sugar. And tomorrow it might be, I need to drink my water. It's just one day at a time. Just
Yeah.
for today,
Yeah.
what am I going to do to get closer to my goal?
That's good. Yeah, I think it's absolutely essential to look at it that way. And so in speaking of that, how important is accountability in achieving goals? Because you kind of were already alluding to it a little bit, to some
Mm.
degree. So I want to know, what role does that play in your coaching programs? Because accountability, like when you tell me take a small bite, you know what that actually means to me? um, because it's a small yet very, very effective bite is working with a coach. Pam, because here's the thing, I don't know about you, but when I spend money on something, and let's say a coaching session,
Right?
I'm like, I better take really good notes, and not only take good notes, I better do what I said I was going to do because I just invested time in this. So like even when you and I have our conversations, I make a
Mhm.
list of stuff. And if we have if you and I come, like if I come up with something or you help me come up with something that I need to do, I'll do it. I'll write it and I'm like, I've got to do this because I invested time. Right? And I'm accountable to me first, but then other people. So talk to us about the accountability part.
I mean, I don't think we all need accountability, but I think the majority of people do need some sort of accountability to reach their goals because life is busy. We live on this sometimes on this very fast paced life
Mhm.
of moving quickly. And it's easy to say, I'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or if I don't do it this morning, I'll do it this afternoon. So it's nice to have someone that can hold you accountable. And it's even better when it may be somebody going through the same thing as you. So you could hold each other accountable. And I think that is one of the beauties of working with somebody or being open with people saying, this is what I'm trying to do. Is this something that you're interested in? And if so, can we do this together? Right. So, one of the reasons why I created my community was because I wanted a space for women to come to feel that they had a safe space for accountability. So I think yeah, I think it's really important. I know myself when I'm working with a trainer, I work so much harder than if I'm just in my house doing my weights, right?
Right,
Because
right.
so yeah, being
Yeah,
having accountability partners are really helpful.
it is. And you said something. You said, I don't think everybody needs accountability. And I agree for the most part, but I think we are our own accountability sometimes. Like you and I, we're very structured. So that's
Yes.
why we don't need accountability for the most part, because we are people who, if we say we're going to do something, we're going to do it.
Mhm.
This morning, I have a workout buddy. I have a couple, but one, she's my morning, and she became my workout buddy years ago. And we get to the parking lot, and I just had this it just dawned on me, and her name's Carrie. And I said, Carrie, we are exceptional. I said, do you know how long we've been doing this? I said, who in their right mind does this year after year, shows up at, before 7 a.m. to work out? And I just started thinking about how much I appreciated her for being that person who is tenacious on her own, but then
Mhm.
she is a sort of accountability to me, even though I don't need her to be telling me to go work out. But it helps to have that partnership of somebody that has the same ideology, like she believes in, staying healthy, etc.
Exactly. I mean, how awesome is it to know that you're going to go to the gym that day because you're going to get there, but you're not going to be alone when you get there, right? There's
That's right.
somebody that is going to be by your side while you're doing that, or going for a walk, or reaching business goals, or trying to get a promotion. Like, there's so many different reasons why accountability partners, prayer groups
Yes,
is beautiful as well, right? So
sure.
there's so many. I really believe it's really important for, if you have that small bite,
Mhm,
finding that accountability person to help you grow towards that. And that's what coaching does, or finding a
mhm.
partner to work out with, or whatever your goal is. It really makes a big difference.
That's right, it really does. So I hope
Yeah.
that those who are watching, you're tuned in with Pam Drzewiecki, life and business coach, and myself. And you can find more on Pam at powerful-purpose.com. You can go to my website, teresaluskshow.com, and send questions. Those of you who are watching or who will watch later, this is great, a great opportunity. We're coming to the end of the year. I'm a pastor, so I actually I had this list of questions that I really felt impressed by the Lord to ask my people, and I wrote them on the board. I
Mhm.
didn't preach about it. I just wrote them on the board, and they are to prepare their minds and hearts to break down barriers for 2025. And I'm not
Nice.
even, I believe in starting whenever, but it's helpful because they will be accountable to one another as a church. So what
Mm.
advice do you have for women who are feeling stuck and need motivation to take the next step toward their goals?
Yeah, sometimes, that's such a great question, because sometimes, even as coaches, or as a coach, or working with other women, um I'm I think we need to pause, right? Like, we really need to pause. Like, if we're feeling, a lot of times we might not know why we're feeling stuck.
Mhm,
And understanding that is key to help get us to the next level. And it seems like a lot of conversation today is about working with coaches, right, to help you get there. But it really is necessary. But when you're feeling stuck, I think just pausing and reflecting back on where you are and where you possibly want to be, and understand what that gap is. And then
mhm.
from there, we could break down those small steps, and you could find your accountability partners. So it really
Right.
is reverse engineering into this whole thing that will help you. But
Mhm,
discernment, standing, even finding somebody you want to talk with. But I think really filling that gap, like, what
mhm.
is, and I think the discernment helps with that, and the
Yeah,
journal
yeah,
and praying and stuff.
for sure.
Mm,
One of my prayers, somebody said to me a long time ago, they said this to me, and it stayed with me because I didn't realize I had this. And this is not a braggadocious. This is like something that I actually turned into a prayer once they said it to me. And they said, Teresa, you have an iron will determination. And I didn't
mm.
know that, right? I didn't know that. I was like, oh, I thought I was just doing. But now that you're saying that, I'm like, but I'm going to keep praying to have that because I want to be sure that I am an accomplisher. Another prayer is
Nice.
God, maximize my days here on the earth, maximize my hours. I don't want to waste time. I know people, I told my son the other day, I said, I've asked the Lord that when I go to be with Jesus, that I die with heels, lipstick, and working at what I love to do. There's no retirement. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I'm with
Right.
you.
Yeah, and the reason why I bring this up is because sometimes that may be the prayer we need to help us to stay focused on those things that you're saying. Yes, evaluating all this, we have to. At the end of the day, we can be given tools all day long. Pam Drzewiecki can come on here every single day for 5 hours a day, and you do zero at it. So it is so important to really focus on being doers. And I tell people, everybody's in the ministry of want to. We got to get into the ministry of doing. And so,
Mhm.
so I am so with you on these. Pam, these are great. I think that if people listen and take note and do these steps that you have been sharing, I think they can really be blessed and move forward. And I'm excited. I hope that those of you who are watching that, Pam's very skilled. She knows what she's doing. Reach out to her and talk to her more about, how she can help you in this journey called life and succeeding. That way when we go, we have no regrets. We fulfilled the purpose that God has given us here on the earth. What do you say?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, it's so spot on. You have such a beautiful way with your words and the thoughts that go behind that and behind them, and I just love that.
Thank
And
you.
I think one of the biggest things too is really understanding what it is that is moving you. So
Yeah,
creating some sort of roadmap to get yourself to the next level and to understand that it is one life that we're here to live.
that's right.
And how are we going to live it in the best possible way,
That's right.
without, and you might have a day that you want to nap all day, and that's okay.
You
It's
have to
just
have nap days.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah,
it's just understanding that. It's just
yes, yes.
understanding that might be for the afternoon. But
That's right.
yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm,
Yeah.
so
So I
beautiful.
yeah, I think we can we're going to shift a little bit because we want to deal with the media part here because that's what we're here to do, Pam. That's what we're here to do.
Yes, and the beauty about that what we're gonna talk about with you, it's such an awesome, combination of what we just were talking about, and now what you're gonna share with us isn't just for media. It's right, your ministry, it's your life coaching, it's all of it that you could help people with, but I really think it's such an important part of when you're looking at media for your business, for your profession, um, even even just for fun. There's so many people that do these videos, right, these days. But
Yes.
when we're thinking about that, what is a way to overcome fear from being on camera and using social media and promoting your business without feeling that you are bragging about your accomplishments and all of that. So, how would you describe to help somebody get over the fear of
Yeah.
doing this?
Yeah. Well, I think it's got several components. So one of the things is that, we definitely want to talk about fear concerning media because one of the first things that people say, and we've talked about this consistently, I don't like how I look. I don't like how I sound. I've even had people say, I don't like my voice. I don't like how I
Mm,
sound. And but really at the core of it, I would say, what are you so afraid of exactly? And usually if we narrow it down to one word, it's judging. You are afraid of people's judging, right? Because if
mm,
I care about what they're going to think about my voice or what they're going to think about my hair or what they're going to think about whatever, I am concerned about people judging. We can say
mm,
it's an opinion because at the end of the day, you're afraid of them judging. And so we really want to break that down and say, okay, what is so scary about that? So what? Okay, so I have this way in my head that when I have a fear, uh, I will ask myself, okay, Teresa, what are you so afraid of? Break it
mhm,
down. Talk to me. And I talk to myself, like I counsel myself, I coach myself, I minister to myself, and of course, with the help of the Holy Spirit. But I do say, like, what are you so afraid of? And then when I hone in and I'll say, okay, I'm afraid of, and media is not usually one of them. Although I do get a little nervous, believe it or not, I really actually can get a little nervous when I'm going on networks right? Because the time is of the essence, et cetera, et cetera. And that you have to be more, this is live. I can yak my head off for
We
the
could
most
go
part.
back and forth. Right.
That's right, right. But when you have a certain amount of time, which networks do, and you have to be on your feet. But truly it is that. It's like, what am I so afraid of? Am I afraid that they're going to judge? Okay. And then I say, okay, what could I be so afraid that they might say? Oh, they might say that, that you want this too bad. You're working too hard for it. You know, some people who are looking for a job, when you're writing a cover letter, and this applies for anything, whether it's media or anything, and you know, you get too excited on your cover letter, some of you may go, well, they may just think I'm desperate. And you know what I say? Yes, let them know you're desperate to accomplish the purpose that you were set here on the earth to do. So
Mhm.
it's all about changing the perspective. Okay, so what if they think that I'm promoting too much? Okay, do you not believe in your product? Do you not believe in what you have? The question is, if you don't believe in what you have, truly think it's worthy, truly think it's valuable, you're not going to be able to offer this to anybody without feeling judged already. I
Mm.
know that what I offer is valuable, one, because I've lived it and I've had to work for it. And guess what? I know how to get you to where at least to where I've been, hopefully further, but at least
Right.
to where I've been. And so that really is about that. So, you know, we have to ask ourselves, what's the worst that could happen? If I get on here and I want to share my cup, oh, let me tell you about my cup. You know, you know, I can get on there and go, it's $50, whatever. Or you can say, I made this cup and I made sure that it is highly insulated with the best material possible because I want you to enjoy your drink every single day. Now you're selling me. I could sell you a piece. I could sell you my notes. Can I just tell you, I could sell you my notes. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because I believe in what the notes have in them. Why? Because I already overcame the
Mm.
fear of what might they say. So I've had people say, well, where do you think you're qualified from? Life experience, the calling of God, the fact that I've lived it, done it, the fact that it's been hard and I still overcame. You have to speak truth to yourself because your
Mhm.
mind's already so programmed to say the worst things to yourself. Somebody said to me the other day, they said, you know, I was watching this comedian and it was hilarious. And they said, do you know that human beings are the only ones that are so condescending to themselves? He said, dogs will go right back to their vomit, but they'll never go, I am so gross for this, but human beings will just completely diminish themselves. Isn't that powerful?
It is so powerful, and it's so powerful that to think that we say things to ourselves that we wouldn't say to our best friend, and sometimes even our
Right.
enemies, somebody that we don't get
Yes,
along with.
that's
And
right.
oh yes, and I love the conviction, and I think that's one of the biggest things that when I first met you was your conviction that drew me even closer to wanting to build a relationship
Mhm,
because of the conviction that you had.
mhm,
And the fear and not having the fear to share your story with me. And
mhm.
I find when I'm speaking, I share a lot of the stages that I've been on
Good.
in my life, all my chapters. And
Yeah,
it's interesting of how many people resonate with not being perfect.
that's right. That's right. It's a relief.
It
People just
is.
want to hear you be, I have those three words, real, vulnerable, transparent. You get to control the information, but be real. People know when you're full of it. Like, I'm not trying to be
Exactly.
disrespectful, but we know when you're not genuine. You know, you got a whole lot of hee, ha, 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 trying to be liked. Listen, I am too grown to be liked. I am here to do what Jesus told me to do, and that's what we're going to do. All right?
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So combat you make it sound, I don't wanna say easy because it's not easy to overcome fear,
No.
but it sounds, um, easy enough to take the steps to get there because you're on camera or you're on stage, you were called to be there.
Yes. That's right.
And you have something to offer, and that's the reason why you're called to be there.
That's
Um,
right.
I love that. I love the
Yes.
judging part too. I really like, not that I like to be judged, but
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
But it was interesting, quick story of somebody that I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about that they didn't want to eat this certain thing in front of their mother-in-law because they felt that they would be judged, right?
Mm,
So it took a lot for her to actually go for that coffee cake on Christmas
yeah,
morning, right?
yeah,
And when she did, she was pleasantly surprised that
mm,
her mother-in-law didn't say anything, didn't
mm,
make any comment. It was all the story that she was creating and the fear that she was putting around it
mm.
because she wasn't being authentic to herself.
Right. Yeah, there you
So
go. Yeah.
it's really impactful. So, oh my goodness. So, what are some possible benefits if you decide to take that bold step to share your business and your ministry and your
Yeah.
campaign?
I mean, let's be honest. So if you are running a business, if you're running a ministry, if you're in politics, right? Whatever thing you're offering, at the end of the day, somewhere in you, you really believe you have something to offer, even if you have this pull and tug and pull and tug, because you can feel the truth and then you feel the lie, and you feel the truth and you feel the lie. Both
Mm,
can be happening at the same time. I tell people this all the time. More than one thing can be true at the same time. It is true that I believe it for the most part, but it is true that fear comes to try to grab at me. So my question is, if you are doing this, it's because you really believe you have something to offer. So what if we switched the thinking and said, if I go on camera, or if I just promote my business, maybe on on an image, or if I write somebody about it, if I text somebody, what if it's because I have something to offer that solves a problem? What
mm,
if I can solve a problem? You and I as coaches, we have the ability to help you solve problems, because we have the ability to teach you how to stop procrastinating, how to stop lying to yourself, how to put a business plan together of, this is how I'm going to succeed. You can. What if you're offering something that somebody's been waiting on? What if you've
mm.
been waiting on what if somebody's been waiting on you? They've been waiting on your product, your ministry, your business. What if you desire, I'll just use myself. What if there's people out there who go, "You know what? I would love to be on a television network, but I've just never." Okay, here we are to solve your problems and help
Right.
you kind of get with that. What if you're going to educate somebody? You know what about things about the political realm? Even though you with politics, you either hate it or love it most of the time. Most people are not in between, right? And that's okay.
Right.
I have a different view. I think it's a responsibility for me. But what if you educate people? When I started doing my show, the Teresa Lusk show, all these friends that I had that are not political at all, do you know that they started saying, "Oh my gosh, I've learned. I didn't realize this. I didn't realize that." What did I do? I educated. Did I come from a political background? Have I been in politics forever? No. I just learned, I watch, I listen, I read, I do all that, and I have a passion for presenting and media. So you can put your giftings together and really make something happen. And the other is inspiring. You know, Pam, wonderful people who've gone before me, those are the ones that inspired me. I
Mhm.
remember living a life of being a teen mom, and my life looked, dire. It just didn't look great. And I remember looking at professional women and going, I want to be that one day. I want to be that professional woman one day. And guess
Mm.
what? They inspired me to be who I am today. I didn't even know these women. I've never talked to them. I just saw them from a distance. So even your presence from a distance can be an inspiration. So we have got to
Mm.
start turning the questions, because fear asks you questions, but so does truth. And so we just
Mm.
have to choose, which way are we going to let the voices speak? Are we going to let the voice of truth, which is, what if I solve a problem? What if I educate? What if I inspire? What if I whatever, fill in the blank? Or I can say, what if they hate me? What if they don't like me? What if you're going to have haters for the rest of your life? Get used to it. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, there's so much goodness right there that you shared. It's so true is I love the what if. I love that question and what comes from that what if
Yeah.
is very impactful.
Yeah.
So you also encourage success in people's lives.
Sure.
On top of everything else that you give back. Like success is a big deal because if they work with you in ministry or on media or for their business or life coaching, they're coming to you because they want to be more successful, and they may not know what that success is yet, but they
Right.
know that there's that gap. Something's missing, right? And so what's an activity that you use to, or you suggest someone to do in order to connect with that success?
Yeah. So I would encourage people, and this is the closing activity for me, because for me it's this. We can tell you, Pam and Teresa Lusk can tell you stuff all day long, and at the end of the day, um, I have this saying, as a minister, I'll say, sometimes you practice your freedom. You practice your way
Mm.
into freedom. Some things you can be free from like this, and some things you practice your way into freedom. So I want to encourage those who are watching and they struggle with fears, they struggle with things, etc. So here's the deal. Write a letter as if you are this successful person that you really dream of being. Maybe you take components from this other person that you admire. You take a little bit from this, but a lot of it from you. What do you visualize for you? I visualize some serious success in my life, Pam. From listen, I've had some great things happen, but I'm not even at the tip. Can I just
No,
tell you?
you're
And
not.
I don't thank you. Amen, girl. Thank you. I don't even mean that in a degrading way. I mean that I'm
No.
dreaming for still more. So if I'm going to write this letter, I'm going to write it for myself as if I'm already there. Listen, you know one of the exercises I did is I took my bio, my real bio, what I've accomplished and where I want to be, and I threw it into Chat GPT and I said, write this up like it's already happened. And man, Chat GPT impressed me. It was like, look at all this stuff. And I'm
Isn't that
like,
awesome?
it is awesome. Well, I put it in my dream book, and I open up my
Mhm.
dream book sometimes, and I will read it out loud, and it speaks of my future, and my that future could be tomorrow, but it could be in a month, it could be in a couple years, I don't know. So basically, you're writing that letter in a way of your future already successful person, because
Mhm.
nobody can tell you anything that you're going to believe except yourself in practicing that. So say it. You're writing this letter. Um, and you're talking about this business person, this successful person, this loving mom. Maybe it's not even to be business, maybe it's to be an amazing mom, maybe it's, and you're
Mhm.
writing it, I am, this woman, she's successful, she knows how to be patient with her children, she knows how to, whatever, this man, he knows how to get up on time and go and knock on 5 doors in 30 minutes, whatever. But you're writing this letter as if you already exist. This successful person already exists, and you're talking about the traits you do, your behaviors, your all of that, because you need to hear your vision. You need to hear your
Mhm.
future vision of you to keep you stirred up. That's why I have those things in my dream book that talk about Teresa Lusk already with some major, major success. That doesn't just include her mindset, but it includes finances. It includes the very industries that I want to be
Mhm.
influencing. It talks about global things. So I am a visionary, and visionary doesn't just mean I can see. It means I write things. It means I recite them. It means I study them and I keep them at the forefront to help me out. And so if there's anything else that I could say to anybody, that would be it, Pam, is to stay
Mhm.
focused on what your tomorrow looks like. Some people think that they're posers and fakers. Can I tell you that the Lord is the one that puts those, if they are long lasting in your heart, you can assure that they come from God. And so you have to cultivate them and keep believing when nobody else will.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh my goodness, yes, and I'm a big believer of writing the letter as well, and that's one of the things that we do inside the community. At the beginning of the year, we create our vision books, and then at the end of the vision book, I have them write a letter to themselves
Mhm.
so they could read that. Ours is in a year time. So on December 31st of the following year, or that year that they're in at the end
Yeah.
of the year, they could read their letter to
Yeah.
themselves. And
Yeah.
instead of boards, we create books, chapter books for them. And it's so powerful. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you have wrote some amazing letters and looked back. And don't you
Mhm.
forget sometimes, like, oh my goodness, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's there.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
For sure. Well, I mean, I think it's interesting that we're both saying the same thing, right? Because I don't know what all you do in your communities. But this is the thought pattern of people who expect success. and are walking. Success isn't always the 10 years from now. Success is I accomplished the two things, whatever that I had in my heart to do. If
Mhm.
you're in media, I finally got on video. I finally did that image. I finally told people publicly of what I do. That's what that is. And, for those of you who are watching, you're tuned in with Pam Drzewiecki, life and business coach at powerful-purpose.com, and Teresa Lusk, host of the Teresa Lusk Show. And we are just so thankful that you have joined us these past 4 weeks. We appreciate your time, your effort. And we pray that when you watch this, because listen, we don't know, this is November 2024. You could be watching this in March of 2025. We invite you to comment on these videos. Let us
Yes.
know, tag us. Let us know that this has helped you, inspired you, empowered you, because we really do believe in your success. So we thank you so much. Pam, it's been such a pleasure,
Been a pleasure.
definitely an honor. And I can't wait to stay connected and see so many more great things come forth for both of us and for those who are watching and are willing to put in the determination. God
You're
bless you.
welcome.